Alrighty, welcome to Hard West, Episode 1, The Scars of Freedom Expansion. So I recently picked up this game through a Steam sale, and I came across Hard West 2, one of the advertisements for that, and that looked interesting, and this happened to be bundled up with it in the sale. So I decided to go ahead and get the bundle and play through Hard West 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at the options. I've already adjusted the audio options. The music volume was way too loud and the ambient volume was way too loud, so I've adjusted several other options here to get it to where I like it. Just to give you an idea of this.
You were as good as dead. Vengeance was yours. They weren't expecting you. Getting away would be much easier now.
I thought that was kind of cool. Same thing with the cinematic volume.
The Old West. The Old West. The Old West. The Old West.
I hadn't seen a game do that before, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, let's take a look at the other options. Select subtitles. Always run in setup stage. I'm not sure what that option does. World map palm quick movement. Enable quick saves experimental. Let's go ahead and pop that on there. Video options, full screen. This isn't a true full screen. If you have a dual monitor setup, you are able to go to the second monitor and click on it, and this game will minimize. So, not truly a full screen. All of these are at max already. Leave VSync off. As far as the controls go for keyboard and mouse, really simplistic. Tab to go between characters. Let's see, what else? There really isn't a journal in this game, so everything is done through the character screen. During combat, T is to switch weapons, R is to reload. Every one of these has a UI interface that we can deal with. Selecting the characters, 1 through 3, 4, action bars. I'm going to go ahead and reassign this. Quick save and reassign quick load. And then the camera. Accept. So I played this game a little bit, to see if I wanted to continue playing it and to see what it was like. And I played through the first little campaign and discovered something that was really annoyed me. So I actually reset the data on this game, and I'm gonna play through it now, knowing what I know, and I'll go ahead and pass that knowledge on to you guys. So we look at the downloadable content. I'm assuming that you can do the Scars of Freedom after you do the main campaign. This came with the bundle, so I don't know what it is. So I'm going to play the main campaign. So we start out at hard times here. Your journey on the Oregon Trail is halted by the harsh realities of the West. You find temporary solace in the gold trade, but bad times are just around the corner. Soon you will be forced to make choices that will shape your destiny forever. So, if you notice here, all the other scenarios are locked, so you can only play this part of the campaign right now. And if you look at the icon, there are 3 badges below it, and there are 3 skulls above it. So the skulls are the difficulty that you play on. Once you complete the scenario, it'll light up with all 3 of those skulls if you started at hard. So we will be playing on hard. The badges underneath, where you see the completion percentage, there are certain items and things that you can pick up within this scenario that will light these badges up. So that said, This game has a specific line, and once you do a specific line, the scenario is over, regardless of whether or not you did all the other things within the scenario. So, if I were to liken this to like an RPG, if you finish the main quest in the scenario, all the side quests that were available are no longer there. You cannot access them, you cannot complete them, you cannot do them, you're just fucked. And there's no way to go back and redo it without redoing the entire scenario over again. So that's what I came across. What I ended up doing is I played the quest line linear and said, okay, I'll get to these other things later, and came to find out after I finished the first scenario that you can't go back. Like, you just can't go back. You can replay the scenario if you want to, but you can't go back to the original scenario and do all the stuff. So at that point I'm like, okay, I want to redo this, so I actually reset the Steam data to get me back to where I was at no progress. And if you're interested on how to do that, because I know some people might not understand how Steam works, most of the time, if not all the time, when you go into Steam, the game automatically saves to the Steam cloud. So if you have certain games like this isn't the only one, a lot of games do this, which is really fucking annoying. There's no reset progress in this game. It saves your progress all along. So if you want to restart the entire game from jump, you have to finagle the mechanics of the save system to get it to work. And in some cases, in some games, you can't reset progress once you start, which is really retarded. But this is a game that basically, once you start, your progress is saved, and the only way to reset the progress is you have to go to your Steam, into the Steam game, go to Steam, go to the game, go to the properties, and you'll see a little slider that says enable cloud save, or enable Steam saves, or Steam cloud saves. You have to disable that. Then you have to go to the game directory on your file explorer. And for Hard West, this was saved in the document folder. So you select Hard West, you go to the document folder, and you'll see a string of numeric characters that represents the Steam data. You can look into it and you'll see the Steam stuff in there. You delete that folder. Once that folder is deleted and the Steam Cloud's files are disabled, so it's not going to save to the cloud again, you start up the game again, you alter some of the configurations in like the sound and whatnot, and then you come back out and start quit the game, go back into Steam, and it'll have a conflict. It'll tell you there's a conflict on the saves, and it'll ask you if you want to continue with the Steam saved, or if you want to enable the local files. And I'm not sure if you have to enable the Steam save first to get to that option, or whether that option automatically shows up. I can't remember. But what you want to do is enable the cloud saving again, but it'll ask you to replace the cloud saves with the local file, because the local file will be different and it'll have a different timestamp. And when you replace it, then your progress is back to 0. So I'll point out the issue I had once we start playing the scenario. So we'll get in here now. Oh. So we have... It doesn't tell you, but it's basically easy, medium, and hard. So a smaller challenge, but challenge nonetheless. Challenge but fair, and then painful for the veterans of turn-based tactical genres. And I've played plenty of turn-based, so I understand how it works. But they also have optional modes here. And I did not try these yet. So the Iron Man one is like, I don't know. I would never play an Iron Man scenario in any game I ever played. I don't like restarting stuff despite having done what I've done here to get to this point. I hate restarting content in the game. I don't like having to play things over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, this is a game like that. You will come across scenarios where you are shot and killed, and you have to do the entire thing from jump again. So if you don't like games like that, don't play this game. You also have these game modes that you can select to make things a little more customized and more difficult. The ability cards will make more sense once we start playing, but this makes things easier. This makes things much easier because some of the scenarios that you're going to fight in, they're going to sit down and basically defend a spot, and if you walk into that spot, they're going to fire on you, and it often leads to a one-shot death and you having to start the whole scenario over. So, you can tell if you're perceptive of when that's going to happen or when they've set up like that. If you watch the icons under their feet, you can kind of get an idea when that's going to happen. But if you don't want that to happen, turn that off. On hard level already, they're pretty challenging as it is. So I'm not sure if if you want to make it even harder, pick that. This, yeah, the whole point. One of the main systems in the game is the cover system. So why they would allow you to completely ignore the cover system is beyond me, because a lot of the strategy in the game involves using cover. Like, at least 25 to 40% of the game is identifying places that you need to use cover. So this kind of like takes away from the game by even putting this in there. I do not know what this does. But it seems like it would make things harder. Luck in this game is a meter that goes up to 100, and every time someone tries to shoot you, luck can make them miss the shot. And when they miss the shot, your luck meter goes down, and when you're out of luck, then they basically have a 100% chance to hit you, I think. I don't know if it's 100%, don't get it, but it's very, very high percent chance of hitting you. So a lot of this game is using luck and having skills that either increase your luck as a maximum or replenishes your luck or regenerates your luck during combat. And that's why these two here would make things a lot easier on you. This, I don't really see this making things even that much more difficult at all. I mean, other than identifying the strongest enemy on the field at the time. Other than that, that's it. I'm not sure why this is the Squishy Posse is not checkable. And Cards of Destiny. So the card system, we'll go in the card system when we get there, because it's not complicated, but you should see it. Okay, so once a card is assigned to a character, it may only be removed when they die. Yeah, that will be annoying. Okay, so those are the gameplay mods. I'm not going to play with any mods. We're just going to play straight up hard. Alright, let's do it.
The Old West was a hard place. The only thing in abundance was poverty and firearms. Combine alcohol and hopelessness with greed, envy, lust, and pride, and death is often the result. Crude cabins stood alone in the wilderness, cut off from the outside world. People knew to mind their own business. But isolated, they grew ignorant and superstitious. Some said the devil walked the earth. Said lost souls haunted and possessed the living, pushing them past the edge of sanity. In this harsh and dangerous country, no one had it easy, including your family. You were 6 years old when you traveled the Oregon Trail with your mother and father. Food was scarce, and your father, despite being a fine tracker and a crack shot, failed to find any game. It was as if every animal on the trail was spooked by some evil force. Your old man found a small village and tried to trade equipment for food, but this village was overrun by outlaws. They took your mother and decided to trade you and your father to white slavers. But he managed to break free, told you to hide, and set out to save her.
They took mother away. Could father still save her? Alright, learning the ropes. This is a short tutorial, so we will do it just to do it again. So, Hard West is a turn-based tactical fighter. Turn-based tactical RPG, I guess you could say. In this mission, your father must rescue your mother, who's been kidnapped by evil men. You can only move within the range indicated. So, quick thing. If you look at the shield icon above his head, the red obviously is hit points. The 2 stars, that's your action points. And usually you can do one movement with an action point and then an attack, or you can move and then move again for 2. Sometimes if you want to go way out of your range, it uses 2 action points. So if you look at down here, the character screen, the horseshoe is your luck. I guess it's a heart. That's your hit points. That's your weapon, and you can swap weapons out. You get 2 weapons that you can equip. So right now we'll head over here to where it wants us to head. Right click moves. So if you see the V under the shield, the womb symbol here, that indicates your cover. So what it's showing you here is you're in half cover. When you're in full cover, the V turns into a capital V, basically. Alright. We've detected an enemy. All characters marked with red shield icons are enemies. The enemy is out of cover, so your shot will be very effective. Alright, so if you look at more information, it tells you how it came up with the 70% chance to hit. So their defense takes 10% off our chance to hit. So we will fire at him and kill him. Yeah, and this is key. Shooting typically loses up all remaining action points. And that's key because you kind of get trigger happy. Luck. Each character has a certain amount of luck. High luck protects from enemy shots, but when they miss, luck is depleted. So he missed. Our luck meter went from 100 to 60 because he missed a shot. But as I was saying with the action points, in this game, when you fire your gun, your action points are pretty much over. And when you get trigger happy, you don't remember, hey, I should probably move to this section first, then fire. So kind of watch what you're doing there, or you'll get trigger happy and lose an action point. Alright, when enemies are in cover, bypass their protection by flanking them. And that is key. Flanking in this game is very key. What's more key is to make sure they don't flank you, because when they flank you, you're pretty much one shot and dead. Many weapons reload only a couple of rounds at a time. Yeah, this is not a full reload game. Generally, they'll reload a couple of shots, maybe 3 shots. So in broad daylight, you can locate enemies by their shadows. You can even shoot them if you have an unobstructed line of fire. And yes, you can shoot through cloth, foliage, wood. I mean, hell, man, it seems like you can shoot through just about anything. So when you have line of fire but no line of sight, your chance to hit is reduced. So if you look here, you have no line of sight, so you have another additional penalty. However, in the tutorial, it does not seem to matter. You ran out of luck, and you're bound to be shot. Yeah, so now your next shot, you're probably going to take some damage. So if you look at the shield icon next to it, I don't know what game this came from or what it copied. I remember playing another game that had this exact same icon or their cover system. But that's half cover. That's what that's showing you. And here, it's telling you you can use objects in the environment to create even more effective cover. So if we come here, you'll see it goes from half cover to full cover. And you'll see the icon now. See how there's a full V yellow outline over your shield? That means you are in full cover. I think the sun symbol there means that you are in broad daylight. And there are abilities based on whether or not you're in daylight or whether or not you're in shadows. So kind of pay attention to that. So we got hit here. Your luck is partially prevented. So once you do take fire and get hit, your luck meter comes back up so that you can avoid attacks. You have several special abilities at your disposal. Yeah, you'll pick up a lot of special abilities in this game. So yeah. So fanning, fire 3 shots with a -20 aim penalty, which really does kind of suck. If you look at this now, so this guy's in full cover. He's got some defense and your fanning penalty, so it's like, man, okay, but it does not matter here. So you're on your own. So this game isn't like other games where you go and pick up stuff off corpses, at least not up to the point that I've played. So don't even worry about corpses in the game at all. So if you notice, the yellow line is your 1 action point movement, and then you can go to the 2 action point movements here. So anytime you see the orange, you're doing 2 action points for movement, and that's going to take away any shot of the.
He saw the box. What was in it?
So Mother was nowhere to be found, but we found the box. Also, things I've noticed that you can search buildings and whatnot, and you really don't find any containers to open, but when you do, it is marked like this, so it's obvious that you are going to interact with this thing. So, don't worry about missing out on stuff in the zone itself.
The simple wooden box contained a head. Your mother's head. Afterwards, your father found one of the gunmen still alive. The dying man rambled on about some unholy obligation, about promises made by the devil himself, and the rewards they would find in hell.
Alright, so if you notice that, Death is the narrator in this game. And yeah, so your mother's head got cut off and some kind of unholy deal with the devil. So there's a lot of instances where you're dealing with the devil, it looks like. If only your prospecting was lucky enough, you could get on the Oregon Trail again.
You and your father were alive, but all your supplies were destroyed. No way you'd make it to Oregon now. Your father decided to stay put and build a life right there. Many years passed, and you grew up. You became a man.
So after the fight, tried our hands at farming. Alright, so 10 years passed, and now you're 16, according to the opening, because you were 6 when she was kidnapped, I think. Yeah, 6. Alright, so you're at your home here for 10 years, and suddenly someone finds gold. Just when you need the cash to go to the Oregon Trail, so they found gold in your area. So the masked man controls all the gold mining. His henchmen sold you a license that let you run 9 prospecting operations. Alright. So, if you look to the bottom left here, these are your tools for mining. So mining is how you get your gold in this game, or at least most of it. So, if you see here, first is these bronze, so that's your placer, your placer gold tools. Placer, yeah, it's placer, not placer. Placer. When talking about mining, the word placer is actually placer, so it's placer gold tools, deep gold tools, hard rock gold tools. So our mining licenses are here, 9, and later on, I suppose, I haven't gotten this far, but I suppose we'll get some tools, bigger tools. So you start off on the map here. There is no time in this game, so I can't go outside this map, but there is no passing of time, and you're not going to find hidden things. Whatever's in the zone, points of interest, will pop up as you go along and complete things. So you're not going to like kind of run into things and whoop, something's going to pop up. At least I haven't seen anything like that yet, and I don't suppose it's going to be in there. I don't suspect it's going to be there as a part of the mechanic of the game, so there's just nothing going on there. So it starts you out with these 3 sections here. So let's take a look at what goes on. Like I said, there's no journal, so it tells you your first quest here is mine gold until your licenses run out, and I'll have a thing to say about that as we move along, but let's go ahead and look at the character screen. So here's your father, and here's you. So father's biography is over here. Father was a reasonable, law-abiding man. And then you are Warren. That's you. Alright, so looking at this, you have a shared inventory. So cash, legal tender of the Old West. You're starting out with a 6-shooter. Now the heat part of this, it says damage for heat 1. I haven't really grasped what heat does in this game yet. There was one scenario that it mentioned heat, but forgot exactly what it did. And your father starts out with a 6-shooter as well. So if you look down here, it says essential. This person has a larger role to play in the unfolding events. Make sure they don't die. Same as you, you're essential. So if you look at the stat to the left, movement 15 for father, you're at 14. Aim at 65, so he's a better aim than you are, you're at 50. He has more hit points, you have less. You both have the same defense and sight. Unfortunately, they don't tell you what these things actually are, so you just have to assume that you know what they are based on their name. So movement will be how far you can go on the map, I guess. So the more your movement, the more squares you're able to move. Aim should be just your basic chance of hitting to hit percentage. Obviously, your defense will be, as you saw in the tutorial, it decreases the amount of their to hit. So I guess defense is minus aim when you're looking at it at that point. And sight, I don't know what sight is. It might be how far away you can see an enemy on the map. Anyway, now we have the card system, so equip cards to improve your character's skill, grant them new abilities. Arrange poker hands for extra rewards. And then you have the lock slots. So these will open up as you gain more experience or by participating in tactical combat. Alright, so if we open up these, you start out with 2 cards, and I believe they are random. So start out with the Ace of Clubs, Jinx. It's a passive ability. Your shots don't replenish enemy luck. Plus nearby enemies lose luck all the time. Actually a very powerful card in this game. So yeah, it's kind of good. And a 10 of spades, ricochet. Bullets bounce off 1 or more ricochet objects. Okay, so you can drag these over into the blank spots. So it says this automatically gives you a bonus of 10 luck. So you put that on you get 10 luck. And then you get plus 5 aim, so go ahead in there. So as you get more cards, you'll make poker hands, and the better poker hands you make, the better passive abilities, bonuses you'll get. Okay, so moving on. We'll head over here. Tranquil Meadow. So you can buy the herbs for 35, which is your entire stack. You inspected the basket but decided to seek out the healing plants yourself instead. So you can leave the encounter and it'll still be here. However, some encounters, once you complete them, they're done with. You can't interact with them again. So be careful about that. So we're going to pick this. So Warren's luck changed, negative 30. And then we picked up 3 dried healing herbs. Okay, so if we look in the inventory now, so it's a dot heal. You can drag these over. You look at Lauren. If you look at Warren, his luck is at 80 now. Okay, so now that encounter is gone. See, you've resolved it. And many of encounters are going to be like this, where they get resolved one way or another. Alright, so we'll go over here to the neighbor's house. We met Florence. Or she found herself smitten. Alright, so we have several prospecting spots.
From the day you first laid eyes on Florence, she was all you could think about. It wasn't just desire that she inspired in you. It was the way she saw the best in you, the way she made you feel.
Alright, so if you take a look at one of these, this is the first one. Okay, so see the symbols to the left. You have the bronze, silver, and the miner hat there. So that tells you what tools are being used for this option. And if you select here, you've considered using unconventional extraction methods. It tells you need to obtain or rent the proper tools. And my understanding of the word placer in this context is gold that is not part of the main seams. So this is like gold that has been washed down into streams or somehow has been removed from the main vein. I think that's what placer means in this context. So we could do this now, however, don't. So we leave this. All the mines, or the places you can dig gold, will have those types of options. So over here, there's a prospector camp. So here we can learn the ability to increase the placer gold rinsing for 75% if we get 300 coins. So now I'll come here to the collapse mine. Alright, so we're squeezing in. We pick up the blood-stained shirt. Alright, so we decide to go even deeper, or it was all too much. You headed back to the surface. We're going to go ahead and go deeper. Found 43 cash and some sturdy shoes. Alright, we can go back to the surface or continue moving onward. You moved onwards, wondering how far it was to the bottom. So as you would expect, a lot of these encounters are positive negatives. So you get some positives and then you get a negative, and it seems to be a theme. So kind of watch out for that. So we got 326 cash, but then we are afflicted with a spinal fracture. We also got a relic unlocked at Fate's Traders. Okay. So I believe this man is not a hallucination, it's actually the devil. Alright, so the mine collapsed behind us. So what did we get out of that? We got a spinal fracture, so -4 movement, -1 max HP, huh? We picked up a relic. So this is a healing over time to allies in radius, okay. And I believe it will be a one-use thing. I'm pretty sure it is. So, boots of thick leather crafted by a talented shoemaker, +4 movement. Alright, so our movement just got wiped out here with our spinal fracture. I'm in a blood-stained shirt. Protects from crippling injuries. It might... I don't know what crippling injuries are. It might be these types of injuries here, the spinal fractures. They may be crippling injuries. So we'll try that out and see. Not 100% sure. Alright. So, now we have 404 gold, or coins, I guess. So we'll go to the prospector again. So we're going to go ahead and learn the master techniques of placer gold rinsing. Learn how to retrieve gold using a sluice trough. Alright, and notice it's gone now, so now we can go ahead and do this. And if you see to the bottom left, the placer of gold tool now is at 1.75, so we are going to get more money based on using this tool now. So we will go ahead and rinse the gold. Alright, so we ended up getting 39 income totaled at 39. Okay, so that was one of your licenses. So I'm going to do these two mines and do the same thing. So we'll rinse the gold here. This time we've picked up 46. Okay. And then we'll go here. And we'll rinse again. Pick up 20. Okay, so now, in order to continue forward, you have to mine some more. At some point, you'll be able to get other tools in the game that will increase how much you can get. So, the problem I ran into is that I didn't explore it all before I did the main quest and got fucked. So, I know we can pick up the deeper gold tools to get to 1.75. I don't know about the hard rock gold tools. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the hard rock ones now. So we will go ahead and mine the hard rock. And we'll get 46 from that. We'll leave. And then we'll get the hard rock from here. This one says that the shaft had been thoroughly explored in the hard rock depth, but not much apart from that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the hard rock on this one instead. So we will go ahead and do the hard rock. We'll pick up 126, okay. Alright. So we had to use 5 mining contracts before this happens. This does not make sense to me. Even after playing it, it doesn't make sense what he was trying to say here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so he says that we need protection. I don't know why he says you need protection when we're living together, so it makes kind of no sense, but anyway. I disagreed that we didn't need protection, but he's saying let's go get some protections. And as far as for the last time, I'm not sure what that means in this instance because it doesn't make sense based on what happens later. Anyway, so now you can see it says ask the crime lord for protection, and he's got a star up here. So, yeah. But some other things have popped up. So we have a trading post now. Alright. So tobacco. Improves aim. Dried herbs we have. We have a sturdy boots. Some 10 gauge. Double shotgun. It's a cone shot. Alright, so we'll avoid that for now. Let's go check and see if anything else has popped up. Okay. So a note about the church. You can heal some of these. Maybe all of them, but I'm not sure yet. But I believe that you can heal 2 of these types of things with 1 healing. But we'll get into that when we click on the church. So, ask the crime lord for protection. Alright. So he sent a vaquero to help you out, and some guns. So we get someone to help us out, we get some guns, empty blessings, and in exchange for that we give him some of our gold money. Alright, so character has joined the posse Cheech. We got a repeater rifle, navy gun, and Homestead and Crossroads have been unlocked. Okay, so Cheech. Cheech will not stay with you for long, so don't worry about him. You can actually take his guns off, and if you want to use those instead, you can do that. So we start out with a 6-shooter, a navy gun, damage 5, heat 1. So it's 1 more damage than the 6-shooter, but it's less ammunition. Yeah. So 1 more damage, 1 less ammunition. So place your 6-shooter with that. We have a sawed-off Cobra, which is close range. Western rifle, medium range. Repeater rifle, meter range. And short range. So we'll go ahead and give that there. And you notice when I put that there that the heat went up. So So I'm not really sure what that means. But yeah. We'll give him one of these. And then we'll go ahead and give him a 6-shooter. And leave that there. Okay. Alright, so we'll go to the crossroads. Alright, so this is the devil again. And we're gonna go ahead and take the devil. Warren is now afflicted by damnation. And then we got the cards, 10 of hearts and king of clubs. Alright, and then that ended up opening up the orchard for us. So if we look now we have damnation. -10 max a lot. Damned by the devil himself. And in exchange for that we got cards. So passive. Nearby enemies panic. This is actually pretty useful. It's a king. And then we have the 10 of hearts, which is +5 aim there. Golden bullet. Requires 50 luck to activate it. Fire a bullet that shoots through everything and is sure to hit anything. Okay, that's pretty massive too. So we have an ace and a 10. So if we play 10 here, see that boot icon now? So if we go look and see, we made a pair, which is +4 movement. Okay, +4 movement. So that gives that, and passive. Your shots don't replenish enemy luck, okay. So terror, +4 sight, so terror here. Okay. Now, you can also make this hand, actually, if you really wanted to right now. You can make the ace, king, and a 10. And this creates the high card hand. And a high card is +8 sight. So, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and go back to here. And do the ace. 10, leave him with that. And that leaves us with +4 movement. Okay. And damnation. Now, to test a theory, I'm going to save it here with the autosave. And then I'm going to talk to the church. Okay, so let's seek healing. And let's heal Gordon for 50. Okay, let's go ahead and do the prayer. Alright, so let's see. We go back now. So, damnation is still there. So I was able to heal 1. And I believe you can heal 2. I think you can heal 2 of these. So that means damnation must be a permanent effect. Because if we go here, I'll reload it now. If we go here to the orchard, blind man. Okay, so you can just leave him there, and I don't know if that does anything later, but remember this encounter opened up after we met the devil, so it leads me to believe that the devil has had some kind of a deal with this guy and has sewn his eyes shut. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the stash and run. Alright, so we ran for our life, and we ended up picking up this gushing wound. A deep cut results in severe enfeeblement. 3 hit point. We ended up picking up a nail bomb. Okay, so we have a nail bomb now. Stick that there. Okay, so now we go to the church now and look. Remember, it took care of the spine fracture, but didn't take damnation. But if we do it now, see, it says Warren's injuries have been healed. Okay, so now if we look at Warren, yeah, see, it healed both of those injuries, and damnation stayed. So damnation is with you. Curious though, this shirt protects from crippling injuries, did not stop the wound that we took. So yeah, I'm not sure what that actually will do for us. I don't know. But the blessing that we just picked up here for the day, plus 12 sight, which I really don't know what it's doing as far as sight goes. Not sure. Alright, so now this is the first major quest right here. So we need to defend our homestead. And we can go ahead and progress with this. But yeah, we'll end the episode here and pick up the next episode with this. Alright guys, later.